The dinner party. A, B, C, D are sat round a table. It's a party, although there's no particular occasion. Small disagreements quickly escalate from sharp remarks to violent threats. We can only watch the aftermath and wonder what could have motivated this act. If it's so horrific, then why would we want to be a part of it? The fifth person has been watching the whole time. They weren't involved. They weren't wanted. At least this is how it feels. Just observing other people having a good time. Not that they were even having a good time, but at least they were doing something. At least they have friends. All they have is this nothingness, wondering, what exactly was it that happened? Did they even notice they weren't there? Probably not. People never do. A arrives after the rest of them have already sat down. She's always late, but she gets away with it. This irritates C. They all gather around her at the door. "Oh my god, it's so good to see you. How's your day been? You look amazing. How are you so perfect?" This irritates C even more. They just worship A so mindlessly. And she knows firsthand that she doesn't deserve it. The last 2 years have just been spent living in her shadow. And she's sick of it because she's so far from perfect.
Are you two blind or something?
It's probably only 12 hours since they last saw each other, but it's like a reunion of long-lost friends. At least that's the impression we get as they sit down round the table. Such a theatrical show of excitement and happiness that you have to question its authenticity. There's the usual talk of how everyone is, how their day has been, at least how A's day has been.
You'll never believe what happened. I know, and he's so sweet too. I think I might be seeing him again tomorrow.
What a show.
They don't talk to C, and she's getting tired of it. They never notice her when A's around because she's so much better than she is. Constantly showered with compliments. "You goddess, we're unworthy of being in your presence. Please tell your devoted followers how they can be more like you."
Be a massive letdown to your friends. Leave them on the bus on their own because you've got something better to do, someone better to see, because they all just love you, don't they?
Sick to death of it, she makes one quiet and badly considered comment to D, who is sat next to her, saying that A is attention-seeking and self-absorbed. In less than a second, C becomes the heartless outcast.
There's no need to be like that. She's had a hard year. Surely you've seen the breakdown, the medication. She's doing so well considering.
The rest of us just keep it to ourselves.
I didn't think it would be a very good film.
Says B, deeply offending everyone else at the table who can bear to hear their current obsession being criticised.
In what way didn't you like it?
It's just as a film student, I didn't appreciate the way it was made.
As a film student,
D says to A quietly.
like seriously, how many lessons had he had? Like 2?
C is still silent, just watching as it unfolds. She thinks about 5. 5 isn't there. 5 is probably at home having a much better time than she is.
I'm sorry, how can you not like that film? And anyway, you didn't need to wave your opinion in our faces.
But you asked me what I thought about it, so I told you what I thought about it. But apparently you don't want to hear anyone else's opinion unless it's the same as yours.
He's right.
Says C.
You did ask him after all, so really it's your problem.
She knows this isn't really a good idea, since they're all against her already, but her dislike for them grows by the second. A makes an attempt to keep the peace, and they listen to her, returning to a safe topic of conversation until B asks D if he would like to share his views on politics with the group. He asks this because he knows that the answer is going to be controversial, and he wants to get his own back now.
So what if I voted Conservative? I think they're doing the right thing. I mean, what good do you think Corbyn would do, really? He'd just cripple the economy and we'd be in the even worse place than we are now. Just think what he'd do to Brexit.
Oh, please don't tell me you didn't vote Leave. I can't talk to you if you voted Leave. I don't talk to fascists.
B says that he thinks fascist is a bit of a strong term, but no one is listening to him. He does like D really, but his political views can be hard to take. It comes from his parents.
Sorry that I've offended you, but you did ask. What was I supposed to lie to you or something?
No, you just shouldn't do things like that. Do you know how hard they've made everything? 10 months waiting list for therapy. Do you know what that feels like?
Some of us do. Not that you care. Besides, you know, I really think you should try to calm down a bit. Because we don't need to hear this. We don't really care.
C says to A with some newfound confidence. She is so unreasonable sometimes. A doesn't know what to say. Her friend is questioning her. Her friend, who she never thought would question her. She isn't being so unreasonable. It's not her. It's the boys. They're the ones who have started the arguments. The next thing she says is something she doesn't mean, but it still causes C to leave the table. As she stands up, her chair falls to the floor, but doesn't bother to pick it up. Traitor. With C, the voice of reason gone, things quickly go from bad to worse. At first, B enjoys the confrontation he has created between A and D. By the time that he steps in, it's already too late.
Really, I think you should just stop talking because no one here wants to hear it. How can people like you sleep at night?
I'm sorry. When I got here, you were going on to see about how much you liked me. And now you hate me. But I've not changed, have I? You're so fickle, it makes me sick.
Well, this is some nice evening entertainment, thinks B.
How would you like to die? Like all those people who they don't care about. Those people they drop their bombs on. You and your upper middle class life can't imagine anything else, can you?
She goes on like her life is so hard. But when she came out, they supported her. And they love everything she does, and she can't imagine what it would be like to have anything else. So why would she have to go at me? Whatever happened to free speech?
And this is the person who stood up for her, who told C about the hard year and the medication, but now all the residing bitterness has come out to play. D comes out with some remark about something that she did years ago, that he still hasn't been able to let go of because he's sick of her acting like she has the moral high ground and being applauded by everyone else for it.
You're sick.
A says as she deals the first blow. D hits back and she falls, knocking a plate from the table, which shatters as it hits the floor. B is still just watching. He's not going to stop this. It's just too much fun.
You can't do that!
She yells at him.
Oh, not so much of a feminist now, are we? You say you want to be equal, but really you just want to be better.
You're a fascist scum, mate.
She says as she stands up.
How do you say all of this stuff? People like you should die. Why don't you just jump? The balcony doors are open.
D picks up a fork from the table. It's the first thing he can find.
A fork, mate.
Says B.
You know, that's a bit pathetic.
A and B laugh at him. D moves towards B, holding the fork out in front of him. He hits him in the chest with it, and B just laughs. They're both laughing at him. He's just a joke to them. He has to prove they're wrong.
Your face, mate.
B says as he falls to the floor laughing.
You're threatening us with a fork. I'm dead.
Literally. A and D look to each other in shock.
Die, fascist!
Oh, so you still have the moral high ground, do you?
C arrives back in the room to survey the destruction. She sees the broken plates. They're all lying on the floor. People can be so vicious. While she's relieved to have been out of the room, she can't help but wonder what happened during her absence that could have resulted in this. The end.